I think 24 hours I lived in this hospital last week. I was so determined to get hospitalized, like in the mental hospital aspect of it, because I've been experiencing this whole spiritual awakening, and I'm getting all these signs and these messages and these revelations and these prophecies, And I think I owe it to myself, and I owe it to the prophecy. I owe it to the spiritual aspect of this experience to check it against reality, against physical reality at least, because spiritual reality is also a fact and a truth, right? And so, literally, the universe, God will do this to you. The testing elements of God, right? I spent 24 hours here. They wouldn't check me in, or they kept not seeing me, or whatever the case is. I actually think that they thought that maybe I was. They thought that maybe I was like homeless and trying to get checked in or whatever. But I'm like, I'm housed and all this stuff, and I stayed here. Even though my house or my apartment is not that far from here, I really wanted to, test it myself, to test this element myself, and see what was going on. So I waited here at Providence literally 24 hours from 3 p.m. I think Wednesday to the following day, 3 p.m. Thursday, or 3 p.m. Thursday to the following day, 3 p.m. Friday, right? And then they finally took me in. I sat down and I told them, like, um, what I told them was that someone else had prompted me to come in and all this stuff, because I was still kind of dragging my feet even though I waited 24 hours. And so I spent a week in there, and I spoke to people, and I saw how other people were experiencing too, and and you can, just I also wanted to see the variations of how other people were experiencing this, because I think that a lot of times that like spiritual awakening and spiritual elements are considered to be schizophrenic, because the experience is very unique to yourself, and when it happens on two or four or more than one person, like it did for the Jewish people, it is very significant, and it is very real, because usually there isn't a divine revelation to more than one person unless it is considered a miracle. Like when people see, like there's the case of the Guadalupe in Mexico City, where people have seen the statue of the Virgin Mary weep tears, and millions of people go and see that site and all this stuff. And there was a revelation about a monk who had seen the image of the Virgin Mary, and there were rose fields that had blossomed in the middle of winter, off season, overnight. So these are things that are experienced by more than one person, and they're substantial. Otherwise, one has spiritual experiences or awakenings in a very solitary situation, and they see the things that they see and the messages that they get, the experiences they feel, the revelation, dreams, visions are very personal. A lot of people, especially in our Western culture, don't express these things. They don't share them with other people because they feel like they're going crazy. And I went in and I saw a lot of things, that I'm actually writing about and thinking about, and that I just that I'll probably post or print at some point for other people to experience and know and acknowledge, because I think that the most important thing is to acknowledge these things and see what they're saying, and to not get confused in the clutter and the testing elements of it, so that it becomes destructive to you. In other words, because if it's not acknowledged in a spiritual context, you, one, won't see the positivity, the God in it, the light in it, and two, then the darkness becomes darker, and one can become overcome with it, become mentally ill, or truly, like, to the extent where it's delusional. So there's your balance. I just wanted to share that.